Things you didn't know about cabin crew, part 1, let's go! Have you ever heard of the game Airport Roulette, where you pretty much just pack your bags, go to the airport, and get on the next flight to anywhere? We have a shift called Airport Standby, where we will pack our bags, both winter and summer clothes, head to the airport lounge, and wait. This shift can result in one of 3 ways. Nobody calls in sick, so I just take my bags and go back home. Get called in for a turnaround flight, where I just leave my bags at the airport, go for my shift, go there, and come back. Or get called in for a layover flight, where I might end up suntanning on the beaches of Mauritius, or freeze while touring Japan. Pretty cool, right? Things you didn't know about cabin crew, part 2, let's go! Did you know we get paid in multiple ways? All airlines are different, but this is how I got paid. 1, we receive a base salary, so regardless of if we fly or not, we still get paid. 2, we get paid for our flight time. We also get paid an hourly wage based on this bad boy. The moment the wheel chocks come off and come back on is how we calculate our flight time. And number 3, my favorite, allowance. During our layover flights, not only do we get to stay in 4 or 5-star hotels, we get money. We get anywhere from $30 to $100 a night, cash. It's supposed to be for food, but I spend it all on booze and going out. Things you didn't know about cabin crew, part 3, let's go! Can you guess what this is? Let's zoom out. Varicose and spider veins are very common for cabin crew because we're on our feet most of the time. It's highly recommended that crew wear these nasty looking compression stockings to prevent this from happening. If you don't want to wear the stockings, that's fine, because there's a procedure out there that can reverse this. Things you didn't know about cabin crew, part 4, let's go! Have you ever wondered if crew take breaks on those ridiculously long 16-hour flights? Of course we do! We are not robots. When it's time for our break, we change into our crew pajamas. Then we open the secret door with stairs going up, which leads to our own private mini bedrooms. Here we can sleep or watch TV and just enjoy our break. So if you're wondering next time you're on a flight where half of the crew disappear to, now you know, they're right above you. Things you didn't know about cabin crew, part 5, let's go! Did you know that many new hires quit during training because it's just that difficult? After you are hired, you will attend an aviation training college where you'll spend 5 to 8 weeks training to be cabin crew. Learning about the service is the easy part. You will learn how to deal with medical emergencies and use simulations to handle pretty much any emergency. I'll give you an example of my least favorite time during training. You see this thing? We practice emergency landings on water. So yeah, in our clothes, we go down the slide into freezing waters and we try to survive together. We also go to makeup school, men included. No, you can't use this, it's the wrong shade of red. Things you didn't know about cabin crew, part 6, let's go! Did you ever hear people say, "Don't be cabin crew, it's so bad for your health"? Well, you know what? It is. Sleep is a luxury, because seriously, you don't even know what day it is, or what time it is, or what time zone you're in. And the air is so dry that all your skin start flaking. I already told you guys about the spider veins. I've also never gotten so many nosebleeds in my life. But the worst one of all is being exposed to cosmic radiation. We get exposed to more radiation than nuclear plant workers. So cosmic radiation actually gets sucked in through the North Pole, which is why Emirates limits us to fly this way only twice per month. Things you didn't know about cabin crew, part 7, let's go! Did you know that for some of the major airlines, if they require you to relocate, they pay for everything? For instance, for Emirates, all crew members must live in Dubai. They pay for your airfare, and guess what? Your new home is for free. Some of these buildings are actually crew living quarters. Your new place will be approximately 1,000 square feet. You'll have 1 or 2 roommates, and it'll come fully furnished. And yes, most of the buildings come with a pool. This was my bedroom with its own private bathroom. What? Rent is how much in Vancouver? Things you didn't know about cabin crew, part 8, let's go! Did you know that people are saying that it's easier to get into Harvard than it is to become cabin crew? For example, Emirates Airlines gets about 15,000 applicants A month. This is what I went through to get hired. First, I submitted my application online. Then I attended an open interview day where they checked my height and my reach. Then I was questioned for about 5 minutes, and if they like you, they invite you for a group interview. During the group interview, you get put into smaller groups and you solve problems together. If they do not like your teamwork skills, you're out. And then you need to pass a personality test and an English test. And then it's the final interview. What do you mean you're not accepting me? I was cabin crew? Hello and welcome to Cabin Crew Series 2.0. Do you like my new outfit? I got this off a Halloween costume website and I mean, it looks kind of cute. I'm not allowed to use an actual airline uniform or I'll probably get sued. So let's just call this Genie Air. For this series, Genie Air will be flying to all different countries. So if you see me flying to your country, hit me up because we're going to make some funny TikToks. Cabin crew, prepare doors for departure and cross-check. We are ready to go. Things you didn't know about cabin crew, I forget. I've mentioned before that one of the ways that we get paid is through allowance. When we check into our hotel, we receive an envelope. And in the envelope, you'll find cash in the local currency. How much cash, you ask? Well, that depends on our destination. The allowance is meant for your food, so if you're staying in an all-inclusive resort, you get nothing. For everywhere else, they'll calculate what's a reasonable amount to spend on your meals, and that's how much you will get. Most I ever received when I was on layover in Toronto, Canada for 3 days was $300. Things you didn't know about cabin crew, part 10, let's go! Everyone always thinks that you need to speak multiple languages in order to become cabin crew. It's definitely an asset to know multiple languages, but it's not always required. Most airlines do require you to be fluent in English. All you need to do is check the airline's career page and check their qualifications. For Emirates Airlines, you just need to speak English. Truth time! So when I first applied to be cabin crew, I lied on my resume saying that I was fluent in Korean because I thought you needed 2 languages. And of course, I'm not fluent in Korean. And then I was stressing out because sometimes they do test you, but lucky for me, they didn't test me. So yeah, moral of the story is don't lie. Things you didn't know about cabin crew, part 11, let's go! For Emirates, our shift actually starts 2 hours before the flight. This is because of the pre-flight briefing and security checks. During the briefing, we get to meet our crew for the first time, as well as discuss any important flight information. We also get tested on our emergency knowledge. They go around the table and ask all of us a question. If you get it wrong, it's up to the purser to give you another question. And if you keep getting it wrong, you're off the flight and it's back to training college for you. What is the minimum pressure level for the oxygen tank? 1500 PSI! Correct. Thank God. Things you didn't know about cabin crew, part 12, let's go! During my 2.5 years of flying, I've only flown with the same person once. Crew culture is truly one of a kind. You meet your crew for the very first time on each flight, and then automatically, you become best friends. This is how important teamwork is for this job. I guess it makes sense because we have to travel the world together. But the funny part is, even after a fun night out like this, most of the time we never see them again. Like, that's me, right? Like, I don't remember any of these people. I don't remember. So by any chance, if any of you guys were in the photos, hit me up! Things you didn't know about cabin crew, part 13, let's go! Have you ever wondered how our scheduling works? For Emirates, our roster comes out every month. Every crew member is put into a group from 1 to 7. And then every month, you climb the ladder. You're allowed to bid for flights to any destination around the world. If it's your turn to be in group number 1, there is a really high chance you will get that destination. And then if it's your turn to be in group number 7, you're on call for the whole month, which is the worst. Once our schedule comes out, which kind of looks like this, you still have the opportunity to swap flights with your other crew members. So if there's any place you want to go or maybe fly with a friend, you can. Things you didn't know about cabin crew, part 14, let's go! So how long is a cruise shift? Why don't we break it down? The longest shift I've ever had with Emirates was from Dubai to Houston, Texas, which was 16 hours. We also need 2 hours before the flight for our pre-flight security checks and our briefing. And then upon landing, we have to let the passengers leave first, then we go through customs, Then we get our bags, and then we make it to the hotel, which is another, let's say, 2 hours. So in total, it's about 20 hours. Do you still think you can be cabin crew? Things you didn't know about cabin crew, part 15, let's go! At the beginning of every flight, have you ever heard this on the PA? Cabin crew, please prepare doors for departure and cross-check. What we're doing is arming and disarming the inflatable slides. So why is that even important? Well, if there's an emergency landing and the slide's not activated, how are you gonna get out? And if it's not an emergency and the slide is activated, this happens. If we don't do our jobs, we can seriously injure or kill someone on the other side. Also, it can cost up to $30,000 to replace. Things you didn't know about cabin crew, part 16, let's go! So we're flying to all of these countries in all different time zones, so how do we deal with jet lag? A lot of crew members use melatonin, but I personally don't like popping pills like candy. This is what I did to battle jet lag. If I arrive in a country in the evening, it's very easy. I just go to sleep right away, and then I get to tour in the morning. This is the hard part. If I arrive in a country in the morning, I will not go to sleep. I would check into the hotel, get changed, and go out right away so that I don't fall asleep in the hotel. And then I usually return around 5 or 6 and then fall asleep then. This one time I had a really long and difficult flight that when I came home I slept for 30 hours, and then when I woke up I didn't know what day or time it was. And you know what? I really feel like I might have died. Things you didn't know about cabin crew, part 17, let's go! So of course we get free flights when we're working, but what about when we're not? We get to fly anywhere in the world with our industry discount tickets. For Emirates, we have what we call ID90 tickets. We get to fly on Emirates or any of their partners at 90% off the ticket price. Unlimited. But there's a catch. These are standby tickets, so if the flight is full, you're not getting on. If you want a guaranteed seat, you can also do that by purchasing an ID50 ticket, which gives you 50% off. Oh yeah, and Emirates gives you 1 free ticket a year to fly home for free.